Being thin is actually easier than you think. Here's the part nobody tells you. Overweight people are not lazy. They're not undisciplined. They're stuck in a system that makes weight gain effortless and weight loss absolutely exhausting. This is crucial to understand because the moment you realize this, everything changes. Your body doesn't resist weight loss. It resists stress, and modern dieting is pure stress. Every time you diet harder, eat less, exercise more, your body switches into survival mode. Your cortisol rises, fat storage increases, hunger hormones explode. Your body isn't failing you, it's protecting you. Thin people don't win because they try harder. They win because their bodies feel safe. That's the difference. That's the entire game. When insulin is stable, fat burns automatically. When cortisol is low, hunger shuts up. When blood sugar is steady, cravings disappear. That's not discipline, that's biology. Being thin is easier because thin bodies aren't fighting themselves. They're not in survival mode, they're in balance. Now let's understand what actually happens to your body when you gain weight. It doesn't happen because you're eating too much. That's what people think, but that's backwards. You eat too much because your body is sending wrong signals. Your hormones are dysregulated. When you consume processed foods, refined sugars, seed oils, your insulin spikes constantly. Your body stores fat, but more importantly, your brain thinks you're starving. Your leptin sensitivity drops. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain you're full. When your cells are resistant to leptin, your brain never gets the message that you've eaten enough, so you keep eating. You keep eating because your body literally doesn't know it's full. This isn't a willpower problem. This is a hormonal problem. A study from the University of Pennsylvania followed overweight individuals and tracked their hormones. The researchers found something shocking. These people weren't eating more because they lacked discipline. They were eating more because their ghrelin, the hunger hormone, was elevated and their leptin sensitivity was destroyed. Their bodies were screaming for food, constantly. Another study from Stanford Medical School showed that when people restrict calories without addressing hormonal imbalance, their bodies fight back harder. Cortisol rises even more. Fat storage becomes more aggressive. Hunger becomes unbearable. So they quit the diet and gain the weight back plus extra. This is why 95% of diets fail, not because people are weak, but because the approach is fundamentally wrong. Here's what thin people are actually doing differently, and most of them don't even realize they're doing it. First, they're not fighting their hunger, they're eliminating it. They eat in a way that keeps their blood sugar stable. No massive spikes, no crashes, no constant hunger. When you eat real food, whole food, food with fiber and protein and fat, your blood sugar rises slowly. Your insulin response is minimal. Your brain gets a steady signal that you're nourished. You naturally eat less because you naturally feel full. Second, they're not stressed about food. This is massive. When you're constantly thinking about what you can't eat, constantly fighting cravings, your cortisol stays elevated. Your body stays in storage mode. Thin people aren't thinking about food all day. They're not counting calories. They're not stressed about their next meal. Their cortisol is low. Their body is in a relaxed state. And in a relaxed state, fat burns efficiently. Third, they move their body naturally, not obsessively, not like they're punishing themselves in the gym. They walk, they play, they do things they enjoy. Consistent, gentle movement that doesn't create additional stress. Extreme exercise spikes cortisol even more. It signals to your body that you're under threat. Your body responds by storing fat for survival. Thin people understand this intuitively. They move in ways that feel good. Fourth, they sleep well. This is non-negotiable. During sleep, your body regulates ghrelin and leptin. Poor sleep destroys both. Your hunger hormones go crazy. Your metabolism slows down. Studies show that people who sleep 5 hours per night have metabolic rates 30% lower than people who sleep 8 hours. The same calorie intake produces more weight gain because your body isn't processing it efficiently. Thin people prioritize sleep. They understand that sleep is when their body does the real work. Fifth, they're not living in chronic stress. This might be the most important one. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated permanently. Elevated cortisol signals to your body that resources are scarce. Your body responds by storing fat, by slowing metabolism, by increasing hunger. Thin people manage their stress. They have practices, meditation, nature, relationships, hobbies, things that genuinely calm their nervous system. They're not just dieting, they're living in a way that allows their body to relax. Now here's what happens when you actually implement this understanding, when you stop fighting your body and start listening to it, when you eat in a way that stabilizes blood sugar instead of spiking it, something remarkable occurs. Your hunger naturally decreases, not because you're being disciplined, but because your body is finally getting clear signals that it's nourished. You eat less without thinking about eating less. Your cravings disappear, not because you're resisting them, but because your insulin is stable and your brain chemistry is normal. real. Studies from Harvard Medical School tracked people who made this shift. They found that when people ate whole foods and eliminated processed foods, they naturally consumed 400 to 600 fewer calories per day without consciously restricting. They weren't hungry, they weren't deprived, they just ate less because their bodies didn't need as much. When you reduce stress instead of adding more stress through intense dieting, your cortisol drops. Your body exits survival mode. It stops storing fat desperately. Your metabolism normalizes. Your body starts burning fat efficiently, not because you're exercising harder, but because your nervous system is finally calm enough to allow it. When you move your body in ways that feel good, instead of ways that feel punishing, you create consistency. You do it day after day because you enjoy it. And consistent, gentle movement is infinitely more effective than sporadic, intense workouts that spike cortisol and then leave you exhausted. When you sleep well, your hormones regulate themselves. Ghrelin drops, leptin sensitivity improves, your metabolism accelerates. You're literally building a fat-burning machine every single night. When you manage your stress, your entire system relaxes. Your digestion improves. Your nutrient absorption improves. Your body stops signaling for emergency fat storage. This isn't one thing, it's a system. And when the system works together, weight loss becomes effortless. Here's the truth that the diet industry doesn't want you to know. Thin people aren't thin because they suffer. They're thin because their bodies feel safe, because their hormones are balanced, because they're not fighting themselves. The moment you understand this, you stop blaming yourself. You stop thinking you're weak. You understand that you've been approaching this completely wrong. You've been adding stress trying to lose weight. Your body has been responding by storing more fat. It's not your fault. It's biomechanics. It's hormones. It's biology. So the question becomes not how do I diet harder? The question becomes how do I make my body feel safe? How do I stabilize my blood sugar? How do I lower my cortisol? How do I improve my sleep? How do I manage my stress? How do I move in ways that feel good? How do I eat in ways that satisfy me? When you ask these questions, everything changes, because now you're working with your body, not against it. Now you're using biology instead of fighting it. This is why being thin is actually easier than being overweight, because thin bodies aren't struggling. They're in harmony, they're in balance, and balance is sustainable. Balance is effortless. Balance is actually easy. If this video changed how you think about weight loss, if it helped you understand that your body has been trying to protect you this whole time, not sabotage you, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video on the science of metabolism and longevity. Share this with someone who's been struggling with weight, someone who's been blaming themselves. They need to hear this. They need to know that science has their back. Thank you for watching. Your body is smarter than you think, and it's ready to work with you the moment you stop fighting it.